Okay, picture this. You're in Accra, Ghana. It's July 3rd, 2025. There's this real buzz in the air, this anticipation for a major ceremony.
Mm,
And it's about Prime Minister Narendra Modi receiving the Officer of the Order of the Star of Ghana.
right. A very significant moment.
Exactly. It's more than just, diplomatic formality. It feels like a marker, doesn't it, for how global partnerships are shifting.
It absolutely does. And that's what we're diving into today. Not just the surface level stuff, the headlines, but really getting into the layers beneath.
Yeah, the aha moments. Our mission, like always, is to cut through all the noise, pull out the key insights, and get you properly informed fast.
And it's fascinating because this one event in Accra, it really tells a bigger story about India's Look West policy, particularly the focus on Africa.
Ah, okay, so it connects to a broader strategy.
Definitely. And a hint at this deep, often overlooked history between India and Ghana. So we're going to explore, not just what happened, but why it really matters in the grand scheme of things. It's like a reignition of an old friendship.
A reignition, I like that. So let's unpack the award itself. The Officer of the Order of the Star of Ghana. What exactly are we talking about here?
Oh, it's a big deal. It's Ghana's second highest national honor.
Second highest, wow.
Yeah, established back in 1960, right after Ghana became the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain independence. So its roots are deep in their national story.
And it's for recognizing exceptional service to the nation or even humanity, is that right?
Precisely. And the medal itself, it's quite striking, a 7-pointed star, about 51-millimeter cross, with a ribbon in the colors of Ghana's flag, red, yellow, green.
And there are different levels, companion, officer, member. Modi got the officer class.
That's correct, the officer class. And just to give you a sense of the prestige, think about who else has received it. Queen Elizabeth II got the companion class in 2007.
Huh?
And King Charles III, he actually received the officer class back in 77, and then companion in 2018.
Right, so we're talking royalty. That really puts it into perspective. It underlines the significance, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And Modi's acceptance speech really amplified that. He didn't just accept it for himself.
What did he say exactly?
He said, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, that he was deeply honored, but that the recognition belongs to the 140 crore people of India, especially the youth. He dedicated it to the enduring cultural ties and historical relations between the two countries.
So framing it as a collective achievement for India, very smart diplomatically.
Very. It shifts it from personal praise to national recognition. And the Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson, Randhir Jaiswal, kind of echoed that, saying it reflected deep respect for Modi's leadership and the strengthening ties.
So bottom line, not just a medal, but a diplomatic signal. Ghana acknowledging India's growing influence.
Exactly. It's like Ghana saying, we see India's rising stature, its leadership in the global south. It's an affirmation, you could say.
And the timing of this award during this particular visit,
Yeah.
that adds another layer, right? Because this visit was historic in itself.
Hugely historic. Modi was in Ghana July 2nd to 3rd, 2025. And get this, it was the first visit by an Indian prime minister in 30 years.
30 years since P.V. Narasimha Rao in 1995. That's a long
It
time.
really is. It signals a major reinvestment in the relationship. And this wasn't just a one-off trip either.
Right. It was the start of a bigger tour.
Yes, the first leg of a 5-nation tour. He went on to Trinidad and Tobago, Argentina, Brazil for the BRICS summit, and Namibia.
Okay, so that itinerary speaks volumes, a clear focus on the global South Africa, Latin America.
Absolutely. India is putting strategic emphasis there. And his reception in Accra wasn't just formal meetings, though he had those with President Mahama and addressed parliament.
What else happened?
There was this incredible reception from the Indian community there. Apparently, it was like a rock star welcome, chants of Modi, Modi, Bharat Mat Ki Jai, just huge energy.
Wow. So real enthusiasm on the ground. But beyond the symbolism and the warm welcome, what about concrete outcomes? Were there actual agreements signed?
Yes, and that's where you see the substance. Multiple agreements were inked. Health, agriculture, digital infrastructure, even defense.
A broad range. So they're really trying to elevate the relationship.
Exactly. They're aiming for what's called a comprehensive partnership. That means deep collaboration across many strategic areas, not just, say, trade.
And what does that mean practically? Better trade, tech sharing.
All of the above. Enhancing trade flows, boosting tech collaboration, strengthening security cooperation. It's about mutual growth and stability.
And why Ghana, specifically? What makes it so important for India?
Well, Ghana is often called the gateway to West Africa. It's a stable democracy, a key regional player. That makes it a pretty ideal partner for India's ambitions in Africa.
So it's like a strategic foothold in the region.
You could put it that way. India's playing a global chess game, strategically building alliances, and Ghana is definitely a key square on that board.
It's fascinating how these current events connect back to a much longer history. This isn't a brand new friendship, is it?
Not at all.
Yeah.
The roots go way back, really forged in that post-colonial solidarity period. Diplomatic ties were set up in 1957.
The very year Ghana got independence.
Exactly. Ghana was the first sub-Saharan African nation to break free from colonial rule, and India, having gone through it a decade earlier, was right there. India actually set up a consulate in Accra even before independence, in 53.
That early. Wow.
Yeah, and it was upgraded to a high commission right after 57. And crucially, both nations were founding members of the non-aligned movement.
Right. NAMF, championing decolonization, South-South cooperation. That shared ideology must have created a strong bond.
A very strong bond. And you see this reflected in the visits over the years. It hasn't just been recent activity.
Who visited whom?
Well, Ghanaian leaders like Kwame Nkrumah came to India way back in 61. Jerry Rawlings visited twice in the 90s. Nana Akufo-Addo more recently.
And Indian leaders going the other way.
Yep. President Pranab Mukherjee was there in 2016, and of course PM Rao's visit in 95, the one we mentioned earlier.
So a consistent pattern of engagement. Are there formal structures underpinning this?
Oh, yes. There's the India-Ghana Joint Commission, set up in 95, a Joint Trade Committee, regular Foreign Office consultations. These keep the dialogue going on everything from trade rules to global issues.
It sounds like a well-established framework.
It is. And beyond the formal stuff, there's this shared commitment to democratic values.
Yeah.
It's like they understand each other's perspectives on development, on navigating the international scene, like old friends, you know.
That shared history really acts as a foundation, then, for this new push.
Absolutely. It's the catalyst. Modi's visit wasn't starting from scratch. It was building on decades of goodwill and cooperation, giving it a fresh impetus.
Let's talk about the money side, then, because economics often drives these relationships, doesn't it? How significant is the trade?
It's pretty substantial. Bilateral trade hit around $3 billion in the 2023-24 period.
$3 billion. Okay, and what are they trading?
India imports quite a bit of gold and cocoa from Ghana. Big commodities for them.
And India exports?
Pharmaceuticals are a major one. Also electrical goods, machinery, cars, that sort of thing.
And what about investment? Is India putting money into Ghana?
Definitely. Indian investments are over $1.2 billion, spread across areas like agro-processing, mining, manufacturing, construction, ICT. Quite diverse.
So real capital flowing in. Any other financial support?
Yes. India's provided around $450 million in concessional financing, basically. Favorable loans for key development projects. Things like rural electrification, building sugar processing plants.
So that economic activity must have a real impact on the ground in Ghana. Can you give some examples?
For sure. Take those pharmaceutical exports. They're genuinely a lifeline for Ghana's healthcare system. And during the pandemic, remember, India sent over 650,000 doses of made-in-India COVID vaccines.
That's significant support during a crisis.
Absolutely. 600,000 through COVAX, plus 50,000 as a direct grant. And then there are the big infrastructure projects funded by India. These are very visible symbols.
Like what?
Well, the Jubilee House, that's Ghana's presidential palace, India helped finance that. Also, the Komenda Sugar Factory, a fish processing plant in Elmina.
Okay, tangible things.
Very tangible. And the Tima-Pakadan railway line. That includes a pretty impressive 300-meter bridge over the Volta River. These aren't just, abstract agreements. They're concrete contributions to Ghana's development. Steel and concrete making a difference.
It's clear the economic ties are strong, but the collaboration goes further, right, into technology and skills.
Yes, definitely. A standout example is the Ghana-India Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT. It opened back in 2003.
Named after the former UN Secretary General, who was Ghanaian.
Exactly. And it's become really the top IT hub in West Africa, training professionals, driving innovation across the region. It's a major success story.
And that connects to broader initiatives, too.
It does. There's the Pan-African E-Network, another Indian initiative. It facilitates things like telemedicine and teleeducation. So Ghanaian hospitals and universities can connect directly with Indian expertise.
That sounds incredibly useful, bridging distances with technology.
Precisely. And on the training front, over 1,100 Ghanaian professionals have been trained under India's ITEC program. That's the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program.
What kind of training?
All sorts. Advanced IT, public administration, various technical skills. building capacity within Ghana.
India even helped with their elections, didn't I read that?
It did. Supplying indelible ink, IT equipment for the Electoral Commission, helping ensure things run smoothly and transparently. It shows a level of trust.
And weaving through all of this is the Indian community in Ghana. How significant are they?
Oh, they're incredibly significant. A really vibrant community, over 15,000 people. They act as this living bridge between the two nations.
15,000. Have they been there long?
Some families, yes, for over 70 years. You've got fourth-generation Indian Ghanaians now. Many hold Ghanaian citizenship. They're deeply integrated.
And they contribute economically.
Hugely. Involved in trading, manufacturing, hospitality. You see their presence in Accra, especially, with temples, social centers. They celebrate festivals like Diwali and Holi openly. It's like a little slice of India in West Africa.
Is the cultural influence a one-way street? Or does it flow both ways?
It's definitely becoming more two-way. Bollywood movies are super popular in Ghana, apparently. Big crowds. And you even have some Ghanaians learning Indian classical dance like Bharatanatyam.
Really? That's fascinating.
Isn't it? And there's also a growing Hindu community in Ghana, maybe around 30,000 followers back in 2021. That includes both people of Indian origin and indigenous Africans adopting the faith. You have places like the African Hindu Monastery and ISK Khan Temple. It's a unique cultural blend.
So if we pull back again to the bigger picture, this visit, the award, it all fits neatly into India's broader foreign policy goals, the Look West strategy.
Perfectly. It's all about strengthening those ties with Africa and Latin America. That five-nation tour, ending with the BRICS summit in Brazil, underscores India's commitment to multilateralism and partnerships with other emerging economies.
And Ghana's role in that is pivotal because of its stability and economic position.
Exactly. As that stable democracy and economic hub in West Africa, it's a natural strategic partner for India in the region. A cornerstone, really.
So thinking about the future, what are the main implications? Where does this partnership go from here?
Well, the range of agreements, signed health, agriculture, digital, defense, it shows a very holistic approach. This isn't just about one thing. It lays the groundwork for much deeper collaboration.
What might that look like?
You could see more Indian pharma investment boosting Ghana's healthcare, shared expertise making farming more sustainable, Indian tech companies helping build Ghana's digital future, maybe even joint military training for regional security.
And this all reinforces India's image on the world stage.
Undeniably. Prime Minister Modi receiving, 24 international honors now. That's a clear sign India's voice is being heard, that its influence is growing.
And this specific award from Ghana?
It's a significant nod to India's leadership role within the Global South, championing issues like climate justice, sustainable development, fair trade. It resonates with nations like Ghana.
Are there any challenges or potential bumps in the road?
Of course, no partnership is without challenges. There's the trade imbalance. India imports a lot of gold, needs to boost its exports to Ghana. And sometimes big infrastructure projects, like that Kamena sugar factory, face delays. Execution is key.
But the opportunities outweigh the challenges.
I'd say the potential is vast. Ghana's tech scene is growing fast. Perfect synergy with India's IT strength. Agriculture is core to both economies. And defense cooperation could be mutually beneficial for stability. They're sitting on a goldmine of potential, really.
So wrapping this up, what's the main takeaway for us? This award, the visit, it wasn't just a photo op.
Not at all. July 3rd, 2025 was more than ceremony. It celebrated a re-energized India-Ghana relationship, one built on shared history, solid economics, and these really warm cultural links.
And that visit, the first PM visit in 30 years, sets a new course, a comprehensive partnership.
Precisely. With agreements across key sectors, it really paves the way for future growth. And you can't forget the human element, that vibrant Indian community there, living embodiment of the ties.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? If India and Ghana can forge this kind of multifaceted partnership, what does it mean for South cooperation generally? Could it be a model for other emerging economies? Could it even start to reshape how we think about global leadership away from just the traditional powers?
That's the provocative thought, isn't it? Ultimately, this India-Ghana stride is a powerful example of how collaboration can work in our complex world. It's built on friendship, ambition, and that shared vision. It really shows how strong bilateral ties can amplify influence and create opportunities for both partners on the global stage.